Welcome to Hindsight Hacking. I'm Corey Carter.
And I'm Ron Cool, and you are listening to Hindsight Hacking, where we have talked to hundreds of entrepreneurs hacking their hindsight to give you clearer foresight.
And now, as we still bring you the same great, amazing interviews each and every week, we are adding bits and pieces to serve you in such a great way. These bits and pieces are some mindset hacks, visibility hacks, traffic hacks, and more on the Daily Hack. So we want to make sure that you have all the tools and all the resources that you need to gain more visibility and gain more traffic.
And obviously, to get more sales. So head over to gethhm.com/toolbox to grab your free resources to get the help you need to get more.
And if you're interested, after you collect all those freebies, because they're amazing, hit the link in the show notes and jump on our calendar because we definitely want to help you.
Guys, we absolutely love the community that we've created with your guys' help, and we love all the Hindsight Hackers. So jump on in and get on our calendar.
So without further ado, what do you say? Let's get to it.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a special Friday edition of your Daily Hack. Ron, what's happening, my friend?
Nothing, man. Just hanging in there. I can't wait for the weekend. I'm really looking forward to the weekend this weekend.
Yeah. You know, we're not done for the day, but we are definitely getting ready for the weekend. And, you know, our last episode, we gave visibility tip number 1, all about the value traffic play. But number 2, we're here for you. What do you got? What do you think we should share today, Ron?
Let's see. How about the learn or earn your way in?
Yes, learn or earn. And I want to tell a little story about this first before we actually give this tip away.
Story.
And yeah, when we were talking about what are we talking about today, I was like, well, it's definitely traffic tip number 2, learn or earn. And you're like, wait, what? I was talking about that with the one and only Russell Brunson today.
Yeah, it was. We went back and forth on a message, so that was kind of cool. And it was all about learning and earning. And he put something out there. I made a comment, and he said something back, and we talked a little bit about publishing and learning and earning your way in, and not worrying about what it is that you're doing.
Yeah. Anyway, that's so crazy that the topic was strong today for this.
It was a strong topic today. It's crazy.
Strong topic. Well, today we actually had a couple people launch a podcast, and this is why this is on my mind, right? Because part of the process, everybody, when they're launching a podcast, a funnel, a book, whatever it is, right? Like the goal is you want it to be perfect, but your audience doesn't always want it to be perfect. And
Nope.
Part of the people being able to follow you on your journey, they get to see you learn or earn your actual process and things that you're teaching, right? And perfect example is our very own Hindsight Hacking podcast. So,
absolutely. Look, I'm just gonna be real. Like, I'm a perfectionist, and I'll tell you right now, if it was up to me and my perfectionism, you guys would have never heard of us, because I would still feel it's not good enough to go.
Yes. And definitely now it's not as good because we don't even edit it. Like this is live and raw, and it goes from here to the podcast platforms, and we just go have a little bit of fun with it. So trailer and episode number 1 for Hindsight Hacking, or I guess it's episode 0. Either way, it is awful. Right?
Yes.
But we've learned how to do this whole podcasting journey from that moment when we had no clue, and it took us 4 hours to record a 30-second intro.
Oh my gosh, that was so hilarious. But for the people that have dealt with us, I'm just going to say dealt with us for over 100 episodes, they've hopefully seen us grow a little bit more in the process and really start to hone in our message, which was something else that was talked about today as well.
Yeah. All right. So learn or earn. what comes to your mind first? Like, I love telling our kind of podcast story of following the journey of how people can learn. But what's one thing that comes to your mind, or what came to your mind when you were talking with Russell today?
Just how we've learned to push through the toughness, right? To get our message out there. But we've also had to earn our way in and earn the trust of the people that have trusted us as well, right? So it's not just a show. It's our journey, and it's what we've gone through, and it's our expertise that we've also learned from other people, and nothing completely out of the norm. And then we saw some gaps and holes, and we were able to fill those gaps and holes with a very unique framework that we were able to help other people get over those holes that we found.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my favorite things that comes to mind when a person earns their way in to getting the traffic, right? Like, you earn it by giving value. We talked a lot about that in visibility tip number 1 is to give that value first. And that's kind of the value traffic play, but you then can earn the trust of people that will send you referrals.
Right. And that's huge. I mean, we've said this multiple times. If you do things for the right reasons, and you're trying to make a difference, and you're not out there to hurt anybody or do it for just the money, because everyone needs money, like, we get it, but good things will happen, and good things will come back at you.
Yes. All right. Another example of learning or earning. There is Catherine Jones and her CF Design School, right?
Life-changing.
People pay for that. People actually goes through, and they get the badges, and they earn their way through the qualifications. But then Catherine does a graduation.
Yep.
And people post that badge, so to speak, on their Facebook profile. And one of our favorite co-hosts of the Visibility Doctors, Molly,
yep,
she then immediately, like, put that on her profile, immediately then had people reaching out to her for services.
Right. Because you've learned something from an expert. So you're kind of leveraging the expert's expertise because you learned from them. So it kind of transfers to you. And then you have your own little tribe of people that you're helping, that you're ahead of them. So there's the expert, there's your people, and you're somewhere in between. So you're kind of the bridge. You're the kind of like bridge to the person on top, to the person on the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, that's, one of the best examples of the learning aspect and having that credibility. Another example is why we kind of do the play we do to help people launch their podcast.
Yeah.
Right. Like, with the 2 people that launched today, it is only going to iTunes. It is, they need only people at iTunes. There's a whole system and framework that we have with the number of minutes and the number of episodes that everyone's supposed to follow, right? And any less, any more, and they run the risk of not earning the actual social proof and credibility that people can get from a top-ranked podcast, right? And I love bringing up Dwayne, number one, right? Dwayne, if you're watching, you're number 1, always, forever, right? And he earned that.
Right.
And actually, because of that, now has so many other opportunities in front of him, right? It's time to ride that wave, ride that momentum.
Yeah. And if you think about it, there's when you're on a journey, there's ups and downs, right? You got to have a very clear vision of where you want to go. And Dwayne had a very clear vision of what he wanted to do. And I think anyone that starts any journey should know the end point, the end game of that journey. And if you don't, you're going to just be jumping from shiny object to shiny object to shiny object looking for an answer, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but sometimes you don't necessarily know the end game, but you know the right path and for us, it was the podcast, right? Like we didn't know exactly where to go when we were starting, but we knew that podcast was the right path that we were going to be on, right? So there was no shiny objects on the podcast, right? We didn't go start a TV show, but although we've added things to go with the podcast, we've added the podcast, right?
Yeah, the podcast kind of took over for sure. I mean, I couldn't imagine just doing a podcast without the vodcast.
Yep. All right. So learn, earn, let people follow you on your journey, and they will flock to you. They will find a way to see that you're their leader of their tribe. And part of that process, though, is they need to follow your journey. They need to understand how you learned it, how you earned the right to teach what you're teaching, how you earned the right to share what you're sharing. And I think that's our ultimate goal, is to continue to show why we've learned or earned what we teach. And anybody has questions, like, we're an open book, right?
Right. Exactly, guys. And then just be vulnerable enough to let people see the true you and continue on the journey and don't stop.
Absolutely. 100% consistency to don't stop. Whatever you're doing, don't stop. So, all right, guys, thanks so much. I know we went a little long today, so we'll get out of here. Happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you back bright and early on the Daily Hack next Monday. Can't wait to see you there.
Bye, guys.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you had as much fun as I did. And you know what? If you're not already a member of our Facebook group, what are you waiting for? Head on over facebook.com/groups/profits with.
Guys, we are super excited to have you be a part of our community and help you get more visible, get more traffic, and get more sales.
That's right, Ron. And every time someone's in our group, we get to share all the tips, the tricks, and everything that you can get profits with, from your summits, your challenges, your workshops, your podcast, your vodcast, and so much more.
Guys, thanks for being the best part of the Heinz